Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show, training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse, Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Jumping at liberty to music, making our Morgan horses our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles area. Semi on the big steps. Morgan horse Sadie doing obstacles rainlessly. Sadie learns to drive a cart. Mini Zebu heifer Susie being trained to drive a cart. Bull Rusty learning to pull a harrow. Sadie circle driving and jumping. Show, which is a continuation of a prior show. We're doing some circle driving, but this time with Sadie, my coming 4-year-old. As you see, she's being circle driven by Rosie.
I know,
she's
don't
never
get too
done
close.
It before, but my horses are versatile, and she picked it up right away. And she's going to be circle driven over the jump.
Good
yes,
girl.
because Sadie
Keep
is
going.
on the road to jumping higher too. So we're using a circle driving technique, which we explained in a prior show briefly.
Good.
It's like lunging, but instead of standing in the middle as if you were a post,
Good.
you go with the horse.
Good girl.
In the circle, your
Back.
belly button going in the same direction
Back.
as the horse, and you get
Back.
the lightness and
Back.
suppleness and arc of
Good
the horse
girl.
around you. And then you can very easily walk around the arena while the horse is circling. And as you
Good
can
girl.
see, Rosie will be walking to the jump, which right now is on rung 2. And she'll be asking Sadie in the other direction now to go over the jump.
Good girl.
On the ground with circle driving. And then
And trot.
we're going to try it from the saddle. And this will be a short
And
lesson.
trot.
We like to do
Girl.
short, frequent lessons. And we'll be showing you the horses here at
girl.
Millmore Farms learning to jump higher. And we'll be showing you the exercises and the gymnastics that will help them to learn these
girl.
tasks.
Good girl.
Very nice. All right,
keep
we'll
going.
turn off the camera for a moment, and Rosie will get in the saddle.
Whoa.
We have
Good
definite compliance from Sadie. Well, we've been warming her up. We've been working on keeping her shoulders up. Let's see if she'll do the jump.
Good.
Yes, she did. We're using a
Try that
little bit
again.
of support rein on the outside with a slight arc on the inside to try to keep Sadie straight between Rosie's legs so that Sadie's inside shoulder doesn't fall in, which often happens with young horses. This is kind of a dressage suggestion that we're applying here as we warm Sadie up. Yes, to
Good.
teach her to jump
Not bad.
higher. All right, we've done it twice now in one direction. Again, this is going to be a short session, we hope, with successful sub-objectives reached. And then Sadie's reward will be a trail ride. In a large open pasture, which she usually enjoys. Here she comes. No hesitation at all.
One more time.
We're going to do it one more time. Hope that we can quit on a good note with one more time, and if not, we'll keep trying or go down to a sub-objective that we can do. Notice how Rosie did not allow Sadie to jump. She wasn't quite ready. Rosie is a good jumping trainer, so she knows the feel that she wants before she takes the jump. Yes. Good. And Sadie is getting praise. Rosie, why don't you come up here to the camera, and tell us anything that you felt that I might not have mentioned. I did mention the shoulder thing. Mm-hmm. How about the rushing, the focus?
So it's much better than she used to be. I mean, you can see the couple times when I made her circle there before the jump was just, she was getting a little too fast. And, I mean, not even necessarily like faster, but her strides get shorter and she gets choppier as she anticipates. And that's part of the challenge with her, and with most horses, is keeping the stride nice and even. I mean, we want her to, if anything, not speed up before the jump, but sort of lengthen her stride and, extend herself a little bit in preparation for the jump. Maybe speed up a tiny bit, but this sort of almost jigging-like anticipation of the jump is not good. And so that's why I make her circle and,
And how about rushing afterwards? Did you feel like you were bolting, anything of that sort?
Not anymore. A couple strides of canter is just fine.
Okay.
But then she would always come back to the trot when I asked her to, and was pretty good. Certainly worlds better than she was even just a couple months ago.
All right. Off to the trail ride. Another short trail ride and another beautiful day in Santa Cruz. And we'll keep you posted on Sadie's progress in jumping higher.
And what was interesting is that sometimes she, drags her feet a little. I mean, just in general. She wasn't doing that even when I first got on her. Now, I bet that has to do with doing the circle driving and jumping her from the ground beforehand, getting her all warmed up and excited. And so even once I got on, she was already ready to be doing stuff and not, dragging her heels so much.
Okay, www.urbancowgirlchannel.com. Search on any program name that has the word Sadie in it, especially the word Sadie with the word jumping, and you'll see how Sadie has progressed at this Ranch Versatile exercise. In Eve's next session, we worked on some exercises and gymnastics to prepare her for resistance-free higher jumping.
We're here working with Eve again on jumping, and we've got the one jump with the standards there set up with the pole on the third cup and two ground poles out to either side. And then over there on the other side of the arena, we have the cavaletti set up on the highest setting there, and then three trot poles in front of it. So what we're working on today with Eve is continue to jump at the same height for now. Maybe we'll see how we're feeling if we want to make her go any higher. But we think that higher is not really going to be what's hard for her. I think going up one more rung there will not be too much of a challenge. I think she could do it if we asked it of her. But I think what we should be asking of her is to continue jumping at the same height, but get more and more soft and get more relaxed and give her a lot of confidence, which we know she needs a lot of, that she can do this all easily, fine. I want it to be no problem to take her in here, to ask her to do a couple of jumps as part of the daily lesson or the daily warm-up. I want it to be just something that doesn't bother her at all. So
stress-free.
Yes, stress-free.
Okay. With what Bonnie Roberts calls violence-free training. We don't want to be violent in any way. We want to use the natural ability of the horse. We want natural horsemanship training methods, and that's what you'll be seeing. This is Sonia Sokol at the camera, the urban cowgirl, learning how to jump by watching Rosie and others who know better how to jump, and learning how to teach a horse that doesn't know too well yet how to jump. And today, that's Firecrest Easter Eve, my Morgan mare. I'll turn the camera back on after we've warmed her up a bit and start doing the exercises, or maybe even you could call them gymnastics, for teaching a horse how to jump stress-free, resistance-free. Well, we've been warming up for just a couple minutes. Rosie wants to get it so that when we bring Eve out here and she sees the jump set up, she doesn't get anxious. Right now, as soon as she sees a jump set up, she knows she's going to be asked to jump it, and that makes her anxious. And so we feel that with repetition, and sometimes having the jump set up out here and not asking her to jump at all, we'll get it so that it's old hat to have a jump set up where she's going to be working. Yeah, that looked good from my point of view, too.
The cavaletti might be a little bit close to the last trot pole for how high it is, but I think it's okay.
You see how many times we circle, how much we do around the jumps, not over the jumps, until we get the attitude, the flexibility, the softness that we want. And as much as I'm anxious to watch Eve eventually go over this final jump on the 5th cup, I'm not in a rush. We're going to work her way up to it and hope that she'll do it as nicely as double track Demi Moore did in the last show about jumping higher. We are going to try the jump now, and Rosie just gave me a heads up.
Good.
Very nice.
Good, and she's not rushing after it. That's great. Good girl.
Very nice.
That's wonderful. That's much better.
The rider sees
good girl
from saddle.
Much better. Let's do another circle. Good. Ooh. Nicked it a little, but that's okay. That's okay.
Nice. That's 2 jumps in a row.
Okay, I'm going to try that, doing those 2 in a row one more time, and then that might be enough for now. We'll see. So stay soft. Stay soft. Good. Good. Good.
No stress.
You can tell was not too running away. I mean, one of the signs of her rushing after the jump was, whenever she rushes, she gets her ears perk up. I mean, which is like the opposite of her listening to me. So they point straight forward, whatever direction she's running. But you saw, or I was looking for, like right after the jump, when I brought her back to a trot, immediately her ears start going out to the side again and flickering back and forth, and which just is showing that she's listening to me afterwards, seeing what I'm going to ask her to do next. If I'm going to ask her to go over another jump, or to turn, or to slow down. which is great.
And she's showing good body language now.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Okay, well, we'll probably take her out just for a few minutes out to the trail, just to take her mind off of the exercises, the gymnastics she just did, and we'll show you our progress as we go higher and higher. Here is a fun gymnastic exercise we did with Demi and Sadie to help them to prepare for higher jumping. Well, here is our next session, and we're out on our track. This is some exercises and gymnastics exercises for jumping higher.
Okay. We're going to be doing a little gymnastics line here with these guys today, and I've set the distance. I think it's correct for the first jump in, which is a jump in over a cavaletti, and then a bounce to a little cross rail. And I think I've set it right. I've set it at 3 big strides of my legs, and then maybe like a half stride. Demi might have a longer stride than Sadie, but I think Sadie will do okay. Set to canter in, for canter in instead of a trot in. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to canter Demi through, and then we're going to build a third jump after they get accomplished at the 2 jumps. And then we can also try to raise the jumps a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and try with Demi. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, so we moved the cavaletti jump in about 6 inches because we felt that Demi had to reach a little bit for the second jump. So we're going to see if that works better. And also, we're doing this today to improve footwork for Demi and for Sadie, so they can learn where they're putting their feet and when they have to lift their feet up, and also speed through the jump so that they don't rush through. So we're going to go ahead and give that a try.
Demi is the leader here because she's been jumping the longest. Let's see what happens.
Good girl.
Good to me.
Good girl.
And she's getting praise from Jill. Now Rosie's going to try it again. We'll see if she wants to stay at the trot or try it at a canter. We're not in a rush here. Small steps. Ooh, she's going to try it at a canter. No. Sadie definitely is not ready for it. So she's getting negative reinforcement for the wrong answer. And that's okay. We'll let Rosie use her judgment. Does she want to go back to a trot? Does she want to try the canter again?
I can move it in. Oh, good. Good girl.
Good girl.
Good girl. Well done, Rosie.
Okay, we decided before we move the jumps that Jill wants to try it again with Demi. And then she'll tie up Demi and help Rosie. See, Jill is picking up that canter right away. And Demi knows what
Good girl.
and did it with an A+.
Good
girl. 1, 2.
Good girl.
Perfect.
Good girl.
Yeah. All right, now here she comes again. We're going to try again. Watch that one.
You went long. Good girl.
Okay, Jill is saying that Demi switched her lead just before the jump. So, therefore, she jumped long. So Jill's going to try again. We'll try Demi more.
Good girl.
Now she did it perfect. Here we go again, another rung. See how Sadie does.
Yeah, she's fine now. I can tell in her eyes she's not worried.
And this time she's not as worried, Jill says. That's great. We are making progress.
Good girl.
Good girl, Sadie. Okay, Sadie's going to do another run. This is a bounce series where there's no stride in between. She's going to be asked to knowing where her feet are and
all right, I'm making a jump.
and where her back is she rolling her back up, I think is the word. When she pushes off for the jump, she's supposed to be doing something in particular with the back, and
it helps her jump more round instead of flat.
Okay, jumping more round rather than flat. Those are the terms we're going to be learning as we do this. And you can see that Jill is now making this a triplet. This is what makes it a gymnastics type of exercise. And here we go. We always hope for the best. And try not to ask her too much. 1, 2. Oh, that was a surprise. Let's set that up again. All right, we've set it up again. We're hoping that her running into that third jump isn't going to cause her problems on this next run. We don't think so. We think, in fact, she learned from it that there might be a third. We'll see. Sadie is learning how to jump, and she's learning how to jump higher by using gymnastics exercises that are used in this discipline.
Okay.
She broke down into a...
Do you think she's tired?
Okay, as we set the jump back up, Rosie's going back out on Sadie to give her her run in. I think she's going to try just trotting in this time so that Sadie is totally aware of the fact that there are 3 jumps here now instead of 2.
Nope, she's going for it.
Nope, she's going to do the canter. 1, 2.
Good girl, Sadie. Very good.
Very good.
Tired?
Yeah.
That was good. Okay, I'm going to
that was a good one.
do.
All right. We may challenge somebody here. We'll just make a rational decision when is the best time to stop and for which one. I'll find out as soon as I find out, because it's the riders who make the decision. Okay, Jill is now setting up for Demi. She's got the third jump on cup 3.
So I want her to jump in and have a canter stride in here over the pole, and then jump that. But does that look about right to you? I'll do it and see what happens.
Yeah. I don't know if it looks like the same distance between all 4.
Okay, Jill just set up the last 2 jumps. About 4 large strides away, Jill's stride.
Yeah.
She's not quite sure that's going to give Demi the ability to do a canter stride in between, but she's going to try it and see. And we'll show you. Okay, since Jill is not quite sure that she strided correctly between the second and third jump, we're putting the rail down. And I think Jill is just going to see if she can jump the first 2 and gets the canter stride in between that she wants from Demi, which seems like a logical. I saw an extra step.
But it's too short. Okay.
Okay, it looked like she came real close.
I'll stick
so I'm going to move it out just a little bit.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
So you're seeing how you set up these gymnastics patterns. A lot to know, a lot to learn. We're showing you just a little bit. But maybe, if you haven't jumped your horse,
Okay.
you might want to try it. And remember, these materials are inexpensive, homemade. As you can see, lightweight, easy to move, even if when you got a horse in your hand. They're vinyl and styrene.
Yeah.
So here goes Rosie putting the rail across on cup 3. Down, 1, 2, yeah.
Good girl.
Good.
Good girl.
Jill feels that Jenny did that beautifully, but that Jill, the rider, didn't have good form. So
Oh, no, but your form is good.
again,
You're sitting up straight.
and her and Rosie give each other observations, ask each other questions. That's a really good way to learn. So let's see what happens on this run. If Demi does well and Jill, the rider, is pleased with her own performance, her own form. Here she comes. It looks like the strides are okay. 1, 2.
Good girl.
Beautiful. Okay, Rosie is going to sum up, from her point of view, what the session was like. And so she has her mic. Instead of Jill, Jill's going to take Demi home for her reward. Okay, Rosie?
Okay. Well, I thought the session was great. I was very proud of Sadie for not being worried, even when she'd knocked the jumps completely to pieces. She didn't freak out, and she, didn't try to refuse the next time I took her at them. She, paid attention and got better at it as she went on, which I thought was great. A really good sign that she likes what she's doing and, enjoys jumping, and it makes her real, energized and, not refusing at all, which I think is wonderful for her, and I think she has a lot of potential. I think this was a really good exercise for her, and I thought Demi was a great teacher. She looked really good out there, and Jill as well looked wonderful going over those jumps. And that's about it for as far as that session, and I'm really excited to do more with Sadie. I think we could do just about this same thing several more times. We could also try what Jill was just doing next time, which is a bounce between 2 jumps and then 1 stride. And I think that going back and forth between these 2 things would be a great exercise for Sadie, because then she really has to pay attention to what's going to be next. And, just mixing it up a little bit and doing a variety to get her so she's really paying attention and is really, has to know exactly where her feet are so she doesn't send things flying apart. And then I think when she's done that a lot, we might take her back over to the SCCHA grounds and actually try and going over a little course of jumps. I think would be really exciting. And I think she'd be ready for it really soon.
Okay, that sounds exciting to me too. Thank you, Rosie, and thank you, Sadie. Our cast of characters: Sadie and Eve, Sammy, Rusty and Susie, www.thesocolos.com.